So I'm not rich yet, obviously. I live at my parents' house, but let me tell you the theory that I have that is strong enough that made me drop out of the job market. So whenever I was in school, I was surrounded by people who genuinely hated money, right? Like we had these shitty beliefs about money where they were like, oh my God, anyone who makes over $50,000 a year is like evil and a crook. But then they're complaining about their job that pays really poorly once they're in the job market. And they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm getting paid this low. The first thing that you have to do before you want to make money is to actually have good beliefs about money. Now, I know that you probably already have some pretty decent ones because you clicked on a video like this, so you already don't think that money is evil, right? You know, that's the first thing that you got to get out of your head is money isn't evil. It just multiplies the person that you are, because now your actions have more consequence, right? Now your actions have more weight behind them because you can use the stored energy that comes with money. Another thing you need to know, though, is that money does not equal happiness, right? If you clicked on this video thinking that money is what's going to make you happy, it's not. Money solves money problems, which are right here, which are going to give you better problems. They are better than having money problems, but you're still going to have problems in your life. And these are happiness problems, right? First, you solve the money problems. Then you can solve happiness problems, but you've got to solve money first. But you also have to know that money, while it doesn't buy happiness, is hella important because it buys freedom, right? When you have money, you have the freedom of time. You don't have to spend all your time working. You have the freedom of where you want to live, of what you want to do for work, because now money isn't an issue. And you have the freedom to do things that are fun, that you want to do, right? You can go out to you can go take boxing lessons now because you've always wanted to box. Now that you have the money to do so. So now let's get into some actual theory about this. My theory, it's got to be a business. From everything I've learned so far, you have to be able to separate the money that you're making from the time that you're spending making it, right? So you're no longer going to be spending 1 hour to make $10 at Chili's. That's not happening anymore. So anyone who's in some kind of high-level career or any career, I don't recommend unless you really enjoy that kind of work, unless your happiness is coming from your work. That's when you should be in a career. But whenever it's not something that you deeply and thoroughly enjoy, you might as well start a business because now you can separate your time from your money. And this means that you are not working like a poor trade of 9 to 5 for 5 days a week. Like that's a lot of your time to be spending to be making money. And if you really don't enjoy that, your life is going to be hell, right? It's not going to be fun. So what you have to do is you have to sell something valuable. And now when people start thinking about selling something, there's a lot of beliefs in media and portrayals that have shown like businessmen as being evil. If you are selling a product and people are giving you money for it, they think that the thing that you are going to give them is worth more than the money that they have now. Otherwise, they would not make that trade, right? So unless you're lying, unless you're being deceitful and dishonest about what you are giving this person, you're good, bro. This is a good thing to be doing. If you're bringing value into the world, if you're giving someone something more valuable than the money they're giving up to you, you are literally bringing value. This is what it means when people say that you're bringing value with a product. You're bringing value somewhere. You're giving someone more than what they think they could have spent otherwise. But the reason that people don't start this out and the reason that people don't start a business because they have to sacrifice, one, time, right? You have to put time into it, effort. You also have to be patient. And a lot of people aren't because this doesn't happen overnight. You also have to sacrifice your ego a bit. Like when I go talk to the homies or I talk to the females and I say, yeah, I'm living at my parents. That's not something to brag about, right? But it's something that I'm doing and I think is worthwhile because it's giving me the ability to pursue something I'm passionate about. It's giving me the ability to pursue something that I think is going to be good for me and the people that I love in the long run. But also, you have to realize that you're having an opportunity cost with this too, right? You could be out working in the workforce right now. I literally have a degree, so I could be out making, I could be back in Atlanta in my sales job that I used to have, making 60 to 120K a year, but I'm not. I'm here. And I've put that on hold, and I'm sacrificing that money that I could be making because I believe in this business model so strongly. I believe in starting a business so strongly and becoming an entrepreneur. But these are the things that you have to sacrifice And this is where your competition is going to get held up. They're not going to want to sacrifice the paychecks. They're not going to want to sacrifice their ego or their time or their patience. And that's where you're going to be able to succeed, is because you know that this trade is worth it. So let me tell you how this actually works. When you are starting a business today, in today's world, us young people have such an opportunity, one of the largest opportunities that's ever been afforded to us, because now we have this thing called permissionless leverage, right? With other forms of leverage, what leverage is when you put in an input, when you put something into something, the output, what you get out, is multiplied way more times. One form of leverage is labor, right? If you have 100 people building a house, if they put 1 hour of time into building that house versus just me trying to build that house, that's going to be way more powerful. Same thing with money. Money is another form of leverage. So if you have a bunch of money that you can put into something, you're going to get way more out of it than if you have very little money. The problem with these is that they're permissioned leverage. You have to ask people to invest in you. You have to ask people to work for you, right? But what happens now in today's age is we have this thing called permissionless leverage, and two things that are permissionless, you don't need permission from, and you can put in a little bit of input and get out lots of output. It's one, content and code, right? So with content, you make one piece of content. I'm making this YouTube video right now. Instead of me talking to one person, if it was you and me and I was right in front of you, instead of me just being able to give you this conversation, I'm giving this advice, I'm giving this theory that I've learned to, it could be hundreds of people. Realistically, probably about 20, but hundreds, could be. Sorry, I'm still a little icky from being sick. But the other form is code, right? You write one piece of code, you can reuse that over and over and over again at no extra cost. It doesn't cost you anything to reuse a piece of code. You make it and you're done. That's what's powerful about this. You can replicate it over and over at no cost. Now, I know I'm not a coder, right? I'm not a guy who enjoys being behind a laptop all day, every day, just cranking shit out. I like speaking. I like talking to people. I like giving advice on topics that I've had before, like topics that have impacted my life before, right? I think that's so freaking fun. I think it's incredible and it's something I'm passionate about, and that's why I'm doing YouTube, right? And if that's, it doesn't have to be YouTube either for you. Oh my God, look at this freaking, look at this guy. Look at this guy coming up, this garbage truck, like interrupting my YouTube video. How dare you? Yeah, you best move on. Try to come into my neighborhood like that. Okay, so where was I? So I'm doing YouTube, but I'm not saying that you have to do YouTube. You can do whatever kind of content fits your personality style, right? If you're not someone who likes being on camera, but you like talking about things, podcasts, bro. There's so many successful people who do podcasts. I listen to the McElroy Bros because I think they're funny as fuck. And I'm also a nerd for D&D, so it works out. But you could also, if you don't like speaking, but you still like putting yourself out there and being, having your thoughts out there, having a form of expression, blogs, bro. You could start some kind of blog. You could be on Twitter. You could write Twitter posts. But the thing is that permission-based leverage is hard to get. Permissionless leverage, you can start in your freaking bedroom, man. You could start learning code right now. You could start learning content creation right now. And you could just do it. You don't need anything but a phone or a computer and an internet connection. That's what's freaking sick. That's what's given more people in today's age the ability to have financial freedom in their lives, is having the ability to have this permissionless leverage. And the reason I think content creation is so sick and has such a huge opportunity right now, we learned about this in a class I was taking for marketing, but 1,000 true fans is all you need, right? So really think about this. You don't have to be this freaking famous ass PewDiePie ass YouTuber. All you need is 1,000 true fans, 1,000 people. This doesn't mean 1,000 subscribers, it doesn't mean 1,000 views. It means 1,000 people who genuinely really appreciate and love your content, people who really connect with you. This is all you need, because if you're doing the math, right? If you can sell $100 worth of value to your 1,000 true fans every year, which isn't too hard, $100 worth of products, you could make that happen, right? If you really think about it. Like, there are people selling courses for $1,000 right now. You don't even have to do that. $100 worth. to 1,000 people, that's $100,000 a year. That's not a bad living. $100,000 a year because you impact 1,000 people. Now, not only are you going to build a community of like-minded people around you, of people who genuinely like you, but this is hella fulfilling work, right? You're doing things you're really passionate about. You're speaking to people that you really care about, and you're helping people with things that they're struggling with in your lives, that you struggle with too, that you are passionate enough about to say, hey, I'm gonna lend my hand and I'm gonna help you out with this too. On top of that, no one can outcompete you because you are being authentic, because you are being yourself. People are going to watch my videos and not some other person doing similar videos because they like me, because they like Luke, because I be throwing in random ass shit into my videos because my editing is shitty, because because they just like the person that I am and they can relate to me to a degree. I tell stories and they're like, okay, that's kind of what I went through too. Let me listen to this guy because he might have something important to say. No one can outcompete you because you are being genuine. And authenticity is the way to win on YouTube now, right? Or on any content. Is just being as genuine, as straight up and authentic as you can be, because that's what's going to make people connect. People are tired of seeing these people who seem fake online, right? People who aren't telling the stories of how they were down bad for months at a time, how they struggled with talking to people, talking to girls, how their anxiety fucked them up for years, bro. People who aren't talking about this are not going to be able to compete with you because you are being genuine and authentic. So the whole point of this, that's my theory on how you can become rich in today's age and also have hella fulfilling work. And I'm, like I said, I'm not rich yet, but I'm going to be. And I'm going to do it in a way that is hella fulfilling for me. So why not you? If you like seeing somewhat underground advice from a small YouTuber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and act now and become unstoppable.